Hello, we are Truckfighters.
You're watching Metal Blast.
A common claim that I have heard about Truckfighters is that you have a terrific live show that is extremely energetic and it's really fun to see, and I'm really excited about seeing it today for the first time actually. But what do you think sets Truckfighters apart from other artists in terms of your live show?
I'm not sure. We we put a lot of energy in the show, but we also have a lot of dynamic in our shows. It's not like you can watch a band that's put a lot of energy, but then it's just full on, like massive punch in the stomach from start to end. And we try to mix a little bit so the people get some air to breathe.
Well, I guess, our music is dynamic, and live it's more about energy and I think a feeling overall. It's not like Oscar said, it's not 100% all the time. It's like at the right time, it's 200% instead.
Yeah,
I would say. And we try to build like this exchange of energy between the audience and us, and we build a very special atmosphere in the room, I would say.
Yeah, the best feeling is when the crowd is really reacting to what we do on stage, so we can react what the crowd is doing in the same time.
But was it from the very beginning that you sort of wanted to be more energetic than others that you have seen, that you're the bands that you yourself liked?
No more that, I always thought that it's really boring to watch bands that just stand still and look like they're not having fun. And then it kind of got more fun to play when we lived out and embraced the energy of the music and the audience and everything. It's just,
I think for both of us it comes just naturally. It's been like that for forever almost. Yeah. It's just something you do, and it just turns on and something happens inside us.
Yeah. But no, it's not like we feel like we have to do one or the other move. We don't practice any moves at home or stuff, crazy stuff like that, if you think so.
There isn't a lot of planned choreography then?
I think that it's more like maybe a vibe of the grunge bands, I would say. If you look at old video clips from early grunge era, they were fucking crazy at that time when they were young, and that's fun, I would say.
Yeah, I think music and stage presence is about emotions. You feel something and you react, and a lot of bands like just trying to stand in a cool pose or whatever instead of just go with the flow and do whatever the music takes you. So that's what we do. He jumps around all the time, and I move my way. I don't try to do a special way. It's just.
But you're like trying to restrain yourself sometimes to keep the voice in shape.
Yeah, sometimes I want to just go nuts and just lose it, but the times when I do that, just totally just freaking out. Then when I'm supposed to start singing, I'm just it takes a lot of energy to sing and move around a lot on stage.
Yeah, whenever I see Iron Maiden, for example, and you see Bruce Dickinson, who's pushing 60, running from side to side, I'm still surprised when he still grabs the microphone and manages to sing. Yeah, I'm like, just before.
Yeah, you need to have a really good cardio to be able to do it.
He's crazy. I saw them at Roskilde 15 years ago, and he was climbing up the rig, on top, 10 meters up, all the way out, and hanging there, more or less. It was insane.
I don't think he was hanging like this.
No, but he was he was standing and with one arm and then out, and it was insane.
But because I completely understand why you want to do that. There are bands that I enjoy a lot, and yet I have been in concert where I think, wow, this is shit, because they're just, I mean, I could have had kind of the same experience just staying at home.
Yeah, listening to the record.
Yeah.
So it is really good to see that you're actually doing something that kind of pushes the boundaries of just staying at home, and actually gives you an experience that you wouldn't be able to get just next to your record player.
But we also jam a lot. We play stuff that's once in a lifetime experience when we play it. So that's also a reason why you should come see the shows, I would say.
Yeah.
Your latest album, 5. When I was reading, when we received it from Century Media, I remember that Oscar was mentioning that Century Media still allowed you to kind of keep the do-it-yourself philosophy in regards to the album. What exactly do you mean by that?
We do everything except the marketing and production. But I mean, physical production. We record everything ourselves, and we do songs the way we want to do the songs, and the artwork is the way we want.
We deliver a finished product, more or less.
And they try to sell it.
Yeah, so that's...
Do you feel that, in your previous experiences, that there is an actual pressure on the part of labels to, because before Century Media you were working with Sony in Sweden, if I'm not mistaken, there is a certain pressure in terms of the way that the music should be. So it's not just an issue of marketing, but also of content.
I think in some times it can be like that. Like an A&R and a big record label is a respected person, and if he would say like, this song is nice, it has a catchy chorus, and maybe that affects you somehow.
But it's more about listening to a guy that you maybe respect and listen to his thoughts and comments. It's not that much about who he is or what title he has.
I think it depends which kind of music you play as well, because rock bands, it's very, at least our kind of alternative music. It's not like someone comes and say, here's a producer, he's gonna make your sound. You know, it doesn't really work like that.
And the new record, we kind of locked ourselves in and just did the whole record, and so no one heard it even, I think.
No, had no outside opinion at all.
Oh.
Well, as I mentioned, I was listening to 5 fairly recently, especially when I compare it to Universe, your previous album. It's interesting to see, because I feel that there was a move towards a more progressive, maybe ambiental feeling in the album. Do you feel that is accurate? And if that's the case, do you feel... I mean, rather, why do you think you're moving in that direction? Simply that your interest in music have changed, or rather that you're just growing older?
Older.
Yeah. I don't know.
It can also be a coincidence that we wrote these kind of songs, so we had a kind of mood this time, and who knows what's gonna happen next time. It's we do whatever we feel like at the moment, and what we think is good when we do it. We don't think like, we're gonna make a progressive album now, or...
No, but it can happen that simply you just start to listen to a lot of that, like, you know, this is kind of what I want to do. It happened, you know, with someone also from Sweden, with Opeth, that suddenly Michael Ackerfeld started to listen to a lot of 70s prog, and just Opeth changed completely, went from melodic death metal to a more proggy rock band. So I didn't know if it was a matter of kind of the influences that were playing within you that led to the change.
Nah. Maybe a tiny bit, but we've been listening to Tool for 15 years, and our first record doesn't sound like Tool.
No.
But nowadays you might hear it might be influenced by Tool, but it's more that we're getting older. We listen less and less to other music, to be honest. So it's more about finding your own path to...
It is interesting, because whenever I speak with musicians who have been doing this for a long time, even much longer than you have, they always mention that the issue of influences kind of plays a role at the beginning of your music when you're just starting to find yourself, but after that, other music stops being so relevant. Not to mention that when you start working on this, listening to music can become a bit annoying, because you do that all the time anyway.
I almost never listen to music nowadays, especially not when we are recording our own album or when we're touring. If we have a period where we are not actually doing much, then I go back to listening to stuff more. But when we are like in intensive periods, my mind is way too occupied with sound anyway.
Yeah. When you record an album, it's almost impossible. It's better to just rest, and you're so focused on doing the melodies and like everything with the album, so it's hard to do anything else.
Nicholas, you mentioned that you feel that 5 sounds a bit more commercial than your previous music. Why do you feel that that is the case?
Well, I have said that, but in the combination that it also sounds more non-commercial, more progressive and alternative. But I think it's like a mix. Some parts of the songs are like more melodic and maybe more like easy accessible, and then it's like a big contrast to the other parts of the songs which are more difficult. And also some songs, the arrangements is really weird. We don't have 2 verses which is the same or anything like that. So it's just that some parts feels more easy accessible.
Because to be honest, when I listened to it, I didn't feel that it was like, yeah, this could be on the radio. This
No.
8 minute and 40-second song. This could totally be there on the top 40. No, I mean, I love the album, but I didn't feel that at all. So I was curious as to why you might have felt that.
Now I think it's because it's more like melodic at some parts, and then it's like the big contrast to the rest, which it becomes more weird, like more progressive and uncommercial.
So I know that you guys have to have dinner now, so thank you very much for the time you took today, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
So that is it for us today. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this interview, and of course you will visit us at metalblast.net and see all of the terrific content that we have already posted on the site. Remember that if you want to support us, you can just go to patreon.com/metalblast and donate directly to us so that we can improve and expand the quality of our work. I am Jay for Metal Blast, and until we meet again, stay metal.
Throw a finger in the air if you just don't care. The authorities will stare, but who gives a damn? 'Cause we came to rock. Hooray for rock! Let the kids cut loose, it's theirs to choose. They can rock all day, it's the only way. 'Cause we came to rock. Hooray for rock! All the billions ever
Have the opportunity to donate. Fuck. Watch.